months ago, Ben was in my office and was like, I'm focusing on this flip, and I got a baby, and whenever I turn it back on, I'll turn it back on. And I was like, well, that's. And then he walks in my office one day and he's like, hey, I got 9 under contract. So whenever when I said, Ben knows the business so well, he can just turn it off and on like a faucet.
Yeah. I'd like to think that, but maybe one day.
He's like, you told me, he's like, I'm gonna focus on this flip and my child for like a couple months. Then I'll get back to work. And then you get back to work and boom, it's 9 under contract.
Sure. Yep. I'll let you talk good about me. It's fine.
Hey guys, while we're waiting on everybody to hop on, I think she said there was 45 registered for this class today. So Dana's in a meeting right now, so I'll actually be doing the whole thing. I sent you guys a link in that Google Drive. If you want to open that up, don't get overwhelmed. There's like 6 PDFs, and a lot of this is for later down the road. But there is one that is the second PDF. It says AI brand continuity follow along. That is like a follow along guide of what I'm teaching today, but also it's all the resources that I have built to do this stuff that we're doing in case somebody needs to get out or somebody needs to, like leave the Zoom or something like that. But I'll give everybody just a couple more minutes to hop on, but I did want to let you know that there's a ton of resources in that folder, but don't get overwhelmed by them because that's just everything. Are you able to drop the link in this chat? You want the link, that Googled link is for the branding stuff. But are you wanting the link to this Zoom? I can do that too. Oh, sorry. I thought you might have been wanting to share it to somebody else. Yeah, the Google folder should be right there. I'm sorry. Sorry, Fawn. I thought you might have been wanting to invite somebody or something. Yes, I can resend that too since I just sent it. Okay, and people aren't on here yet. Let's. Boom. There you go. Thank you so much. Okay, once again, we'll give everybody just a couple minutes. How's it? Somebody, I know everybody's probably got their, except for 2 or 3 of us, has got their cameras off and different things like that. But somebody unmute and tell me something you've done with AI in the last little bit that's been beneficial for your business. Because there's lots hopping on right now. Somebody unmute and tell me that. Out of 25 of you, somebody can tell me that.
We've actually made AI voices for each leadership member. So if we needed to run through our visionaries, and create something from that, we run it through her voice. If I need it through my marketing advisor, I run it through her voice, and then we tweak it as we need.
Okay, like that is genius. Like that's literally genius. That's awesome.
Yeah, it saves a lot of time, believe it or not.
That does save a lot of time. That is amazing. I love that. That's awesome. Okay, I'm gonna send this to myself real quick. Okay. Good seeing everybody on today. I love this. Y'all drop in the chat where you're watching from. I would assume a lot of you guys are Columbus and Richmond. But if you're somewhere other than Columbus or Richmond, drop it in there. You can drop it in there as well if you're Columbus or Richmond. Oh, Raleigh, New Jersey. I love that. Giving everybody about 2 more minutes. 1:05. I'm starting. Everybody's starting to roll on. You guys like True Bowling Green, True Realtors, running late. I love it. I may have to reach out to you about how to get that AI, my voice is being ran through. That's really good.
Yeah, I'll drop my email on the chat. Would love to chat about it.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, drop it down in there and we'll do it. Like I said, I'm gonna get started here in about 2 more minutes. I will ask you guys this quick question while we're waiting on people, because I may ask it in like a little bit as well. But all of you guys have probably been going to classes or listening to Zooms of how to use AI. Because I know that's a hot button topic right now, and I think AI is innovating as quick as anything we've ever seen. But I really wanted to do this class because at Mega Camp we learned that a next big thing and innovation in this business is going to be becoming known by AI, not just knowing AI. How many of you guys in the last little bit, somebody can unmute or you can drop it in the chat, how many of you guys have recently searched AI as you say AI as a search engine? Maybe that be ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever. I mean, how many of you just said, hey, how do I do this? Or, hey, who do I use for that? Because I know literally today, my wife, I looked in there and she was using it as a, hey, what should I do this? My kids got this going on just on this, and we generally use, all natural stuff. And like, we don't like these products and things. She was sending it to chat and then calling the doctor and was like, hey, this is what it recommended. Does that sound good? Like searching it, using it as a search engine. I know last week, I'm very big on like knowing the local food market, but I was in a town for work that I'd never been in. And I just, instead of Googling, I used ChatGPT and said, I like local food and I like natural products. Where should I go eat? It sent me like 5 recommendations. How many of you guys are using ChatGPT or Gemini or Google AI
every single day? Every single day. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's every day of our life. And I love it. I love it because it's making everything easier. Okay, let's get started. Well, I'll be efficient. I said 105. I'd give people 5 minutes. Okay. Consumers, guys, it's very clear. And that the reason this class is because every year it feels like when we go to Mega Camp, when we go to family reunion, when we go somewhere that one of these big conferences, there's something that's changing. How many of you guys, you can drop it in the chat. I'm big on drop this in the chat or raise your hand or talk or whatever it may be. But how many of you guys remember when everybody was saying, hey, Googling things is about to change the game? It's going to be these recommended by Google. Being recommended by Google is going to be everything for your business, right? And we saw that took place. Google is still a huge part of it. I sent out yesterday an email to my agents. Hey, if you haven't left us a Google review, I need you to leave us a Google review. Hey, if you haven't left us a Google review, I need you to we all know that was such a big thing. And then we heard whoever gets to YouTube the quickest and does it effectively is going to grow their business. And then we see now Ken Pozek and the Pozek group out of Orlando, Florida. Ken, not even from Florida, he's from Michigan. Ken Pozek is now running the largest team in Keller Williams, the largest team in Keller Williams in volume. And and his sole brand was built off of YouTube and media. Well, the next big thing, and I think this is something that you may not even see fruit from in the next few months, but I think you'll see fruit from long term, is being known by AI. They talked about it at masses this year at Mega Camp. And the big thing right now is, how are you going to be known? I read the other day that 70-something%, I can't remember off the top of my head, 70-something% of all answers right now are being generated from AI when you search something. Even when you Google something, how many of us have done this? You Google something, and the first thing that pops up is an AI overview of what AI actually says. It doesn't give you the Google old-fashioned Google answer. It gives you what Google says to do. Or it gives you what AI says to do. So most of the time now when we're Googling, Gemini is actually making the answer for us. It's not the old-fashioned Google way. So, and then a lot of people are still using ChatGPT. I saw that the new stat said that people, when they're wanting to use a search engine, 14% of people are using Gemini. So how many of you guys have had somebody that's not you, or you used a different account on ChatGPT to ask it, who would you use as a realtor in your area? Has anybody done that? Okay. Ben, you did it. Daria, how do you say your name? Daria? Is that how you say it?
Yeah, Daria.
Daria. What answer did it give you, Daria? And then I'll go
I
to Ben.
asked them for our area. I said, who's the number 1 listing realtor in Cary, North Carolina? And luckily our team came up. So that was good because we've been doing strategies to get our answer up there. So I was happy about that.
Awesome. What about you, Ben? Did you like the answers you saw?
I did. Yeah. I mean, it pretty much gave me an assortment, but I also asked, how do I get to be one of the top realtors that you recommend with ChatGPT and all that good stuff too? And it gave me a list of pretty much things to do. that'll propel me to the top of the list here. So I'm going to work on that. I've already done a lot of it. Focused a lot on Google in the last couple of years, but it's good stuff. Yeah.
And it's good brand awareness stuff anyways, like the things you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
we got to wear multiple hats all the time. So
yeah, we do. So here's the thing, guys. That is a great question to ask. Hey, how does my, name get recognized? How does this happen? Who's the top listing agent? Well, that's great. But I did talk to ChatGPT at length in a separate folder on a separate account, learning how do I get recognized? Well, why it matters is because of the things we were talking about. People are going to start using that. We're going to see it used at a higher level. Now, how to be recognized, guys, this is an in-depth thing we're going to go into today. And then we're going to talk about how many of you guys have learned something from ChatGPT or Gemini or Google, and then you go to social media to check out them for validity. I may be the only person, but when I Google something, I go, or when Ben says, hey, you should use this person, if Ben walks in my office and says, hey, Dylan, you should go get this smoothie. You know what 90% of people, at least these younger people, are going to do? They're going to pick this right up here and see if they can go to their Instagram and see what kind of smoothies they've got. Go to their TikTok, So we're going to also talk about some brand continuity that really matters for when people get these, because what we're seeing now is these AI sources are referencing them back to your personal sites, your Instagrams, your Facebooks, your Twitters, whatever. They're referencing them back to them. And then I'm going to talk about putting it all together. Okay. So first, why AI recognition matters. Searching, ChatGPT, they're the new front doors. We talked about that. ChatGPT pulls from different places. If you look in that Google folder that I sent you guys, and I'll pull this up. If you look, ChatGPT is pulling from multiple different places. And I sent a follow along guide if you want to follow along with us that way. But if you also go in there, let's start with ChatGPT. I sent one, it's the third one down. It says ChatGPT agent recognition. I'm going to share my screen with you guys real quick. I did it at length searching for, oh, share, I hit the wrong thing. Sorry. I almost sent you a picture of my kid. Sorry. This is actually the thing I'm worst at, is like, I can tell you all the ChatGPT, but sharing my screen, stuff like that, not my favorite thing. All right, there we go. Boom. Zoom is the thing I need a class on. Okay, here we go. Okay, so this right here is, agent, boom. This is how we're going to get recognized by ChatGPT. We'll start there because that's the AI source that most of you guys are using. Then we're going to go into Gemini, because I know a lot of you probably aren't using Gemini to search things, but the reason is Google is now pulling from Gemini to get answers. So what we're going to talk about is the different ways that these are recognizing it. They're pulling from Google profiles, they're pulling from directories, they're pulling from reviews, and they're pulling from websites. And there are different things, right? So this is a step-by-step process of the things that you need to do to work on to get recognized by ChatGPT. First thing you need to do, I know y'all have probably already done this. This is easy for you. But the first thing that you need to do is go claim your Google business profile and keep that really up to date. Make sure there's a good, clean headshot. Make sure the areas you service, your phone, your hours. I know that you don't have hours, but you know what I'm saying. A booking link, maybe your website, maybe whatever you want. And make sure that there's 8 to 10 photos. Google is going to have photos of you somewhere. You get to pick if it's that picture that your great granny, when she bought a house of you and she posted and she tagged you on Facebook, is what Google pops up, or if it's going to be pictures that you and your business partners decide what they are. So make sure that you're keeping at least 8 to 10. I personally have turned it into once a week. We go and do a dump of photos on there that we really love, and I'm just capturing what we're already doing and I'm dumping it for our brokerage.
I want to add to that now that Google is also pulling your social media to your Google profile now.
They are. They are doing that as well, and it's really wild. So you get to keep in doing that, And the brand continuity that I'll get into in a minute is going to be big for that. So make sure you complete your bio page on the brokerage, or your bio page. It says on the brokerage's website, but you guys at KW already have, your own KW site. So doing that. Here's the big part, guys, and we have no reference to why they picked these. But guys, you have to update these four major directories: HomeLight, Fast Expert, Zillow, Realtor.com. And I'm just going to be honest, they are using Fast Expert the most. And since it's AI and it innovates itself, there is no rhyme or reason why they have decided that Fast Expert is the way for right now that ChatGPT is going to pull names. So let me tell you this. We have no reason, we have no way of knowing, we have no way, no how of why. So guys, if you can, go and update those profiles. You don't have to buy leads off Fast Expert. You don't have to, but keep updating that profile regularly. Do it with HomeLight. Do it with Zillow. Do it with Realtor.com. And let's make sure not just that these are updated, but when we can, if you have some clients you really know, we need to get those Google reviews and we don't want to bombard them. But if it's been a while since you asked them to do a Google review, hey, do you mind to go on Zillow, leave me a review? Do you mind to go on Fast Expert, leave me a review? Go get your granny's phone. Go get whatever you got to do. You need to update these pages. Fast Expert especially, it is what they are using now. With AI, since it innovates itself, honestly, it will probably change. But for now, this is what they're using. And here's the big thing, guys, and we're going to get into this today. We are living in a time where brands matter so much, but AI is picking up on the recognition of the same things. So what you need to do is you need to use the same identical name, for instance, on these four sites. Ben Lawwell, whatever that may be, it don't need to be Ben Lawwell on Fast Experts, and it doesn't need to be Ben Lawwell and Company on HomeLight, because AI is not like back in the day when it needed full-on SEOs and hashtags and things like that to correlate brands. AI is generating things at a fast enough speed that it can correlate the same verbiage without it being triggered by a triggering thing, like a hashtag, like those kind of things. So what you need to do is on HomeLight, Fast Experts, Zillow, and Realtor.com. And now some of these have different places for bios and different character lengths. Don't get caught up in the weeds. Try your best to have the same phone number, the same website, the same email everywhere. And as much as those bios on some of these places have bios, some of them don't, let's get the same bio. Make it very clear what you're doing and be continuative across the board. I personally have a folder in my ChatGPT that I only talk about branding stuff in there. And I have deep conversations with ChatGPT about branding in that specific folder. That is what we talk about in that specific folders. We talk about branding. We talk about branding at a high level in that folder because it gets to know what I like. It gets to know the things that I do. It gets to know the things that I'm needing at the time. So we're really going to need to focus on those things. Then the next thing you're going to need to do is make sure you're stacking client reviews. And I don't want you to get overwhelmed. Like some of you guys are the 1%ers. You're going to leave here and you're going to go have this done by the end of the week. The other ones, you're busy. Real estate is keeping you busy. Don't get overwhelmed, but do these things right, even if you have to go step by step. What I did was I also put in there, in that folder of the branding things that I sent on AI, I put a folder of an AI recognition and branding checklist. If you don't want to go by this lesson plan, this thing like, oh, I've got to do this. Oh, I just made a simple checklist that I'll show you that's in there. And it's just all the things that you need to do. And you can just go through and do it and just check them off as you do them. And it'll get you recognized on both platforms at a high level. And so I just did a little checklist there. The next thing you need to do, guys, and here is where I'm going to lose some of you, but this is high level stuff. They also, guys, we all want to ask the question, right, to ChatGPT. I'm looking to buy or sell a home. I'm looking to buy or sell a home. Who should I use as a real estate agent? But guys, that they're not always going to ask that question. They may ask something different. They may ask, my granny lives on Pearl Street. What's the going rate for this? So one thing that we are seeing that people are using to get ChatGPT, to Google, to get AI, to get Perplexity or whatever the other one's called, to get to recognize things is authoritative content. And there's two ways that you can post authoritative content. That is on YouTube or a blog. And I put brokerage here because you guys have any website that you have, you don't even probably know it. You can go in and add blogs. And this is getting into the weeds. You don't have to go do this stuff today. Go get those first 4 done, and then we can get into this deep stuff. But this is the long-term play that's going to help you everywhere, but it really, really matters. And I'm going to give you guys a good example of that. And I'm going to have to tell somebody to bring me a charger. I completely didn't even realize that I needed to charge my phone. But I'm going to send you guys, I'll send it in the chat. But I'll send it again, the Google link. I'll send it again. I sent it in the chat. But guys, I'm going to send you really quick I searched ChatGPT today for 10 best agents in my county, and every single one was from Fast Expert. Yeah, I told you guys, Fast Expert's what they're really using. So authoritative content. Here's what I'm talking about when I talk about authoritative content. I'm going to send you guys really quick a link of an example of authoritative content. And now you got to think, I'm the team leader. I'm not an agent. So what I've done is I'm trying to do this stuff for our brokerage to become our new goal for the brokerage is to be the trusted real estate resource in Central Kentucky. Everywhere you go, if you look in 2 to 3 weeks, I've got a really strong branding package built. That's what we're going to be known for. And so what I did is I sat down, and sorry, Ben, you're getting ready to get asked to do this as well. So be ready. You're going to have to do it with me as well. I sit down with one of our agents and said, I'm going to video us. Just tell me your story of real estate. We sit down and we did a 20-minute video. His story was his name is Bill Deaton. His story came from him being in a town of around 60 people that lived in the city limits in eastern Kentucky called Buckhorn. And I know you're going to be like, what in the heck? It's 4 or 5 hollers. And he then moved to a place called Mount Sterling, which only had about 8,500 people. He is now one of the top agents in our brokerage in Central Kentucky. And our brokerage has #1 market share in all of Central Kentucky. And he is one of our top agents. So me and him just told that story. Then when I sent that YouTube link to Notebook LM, which is a Google AI platform, I said, write me a blog about this YouTube video. I then made it into a blog on our website that also linked back to them. Why I'm doing this and starting to stack this content is, one, it gives me authority with the agents that are looking for success stories of how to take their business to the next level. Another reason I'm doing this is the more I post authoritative content, the more that people are going to be directed. So you are wanting to be the recognized realtor with those first 4 steps that I really talked about, Fast Experts. That's the one question, right? Well, guess what? 2 days ago, Compass bought Anytime or Anywhere, which I can't remember which one it's called. But it's Caldwell Banker, Century 21, Sotheby's. That's all one big brand. Well, Compass bought that brand. Yesterday morning, I sent ChatGPT a message and said, what does this mean? Well, an agent had wrote an article. SEOs are back, guys. Search engine optimizations. They're back because it's pulling words. An agent had wrote an article about what they thought it meant. ChatGPT said its stuff it thought it meant, and then sent me the link to that agent's website. And that can be with anything. I got to thinking, okay, I need to eat in Orlando on a business trip not too long ago. Sent ChatGPT, where should I eat in Orlando? Ken Pozek, the realtor, had said his top 5 favorite restaurants in Orlando and put tons of good search engine optimization words in that blog and in that YouTube video. And it actually sent me to Ken Pozek, the realtor's website. And then I got to put in my email to read the article. And guys, because of SEOs and AI, blogs are back because that's what it's pushing. It's search engine optimization words, things that are, and it's pulling stuff. So now And I'm sure it's changed because people are figuring that out. But now, if you're in Orlando and you want to learn about a specific kind of food that I wanted like Italian that night, I had to go to Ken Pozek, the realtor's website, to figure out where I wanted to eat at. So, some of you big picture thinkers, one, it's a great thing that you could send to your clients. Make authoritative content about your local community. And does anybody, before I move on, that is down the line stuff. That is very down the line stuff. If you don't have that checklist I made, guys, there's lots of stuff on that first that you need to get before we start doing that. But one, it's going to have you as known as the expert in your area. But another thing it's going to do is you're going to start becoming the answer to other things. Guys, I'm a team leader here in Central Kentucky, and people know me for real estate. Two things: real estate, and I sold a sports media company years ago because I was covering Kentucky sports. I sold that media company. I then was hired. I made sure I had a non-compete. I didn't have a non-compete. I was then hired by another sports media company to work part-time covering the games on the sidelines on Saturdays at Kentucky basketball and Kentucky football games. People know me for those two things. I said, well, I'm going to add another pillar. I'm going to become the expert in Central Kentucky for knowing where to do things. And so if you've looked at my social media recently, it's been updates on what restaurants are coming, what parks are coming, what things are coming. And you don't know how many conversations by becoming an expert in my local area. I had a realtor yesterday said, hey, I have, not with Keller Williams, I have 2 clients moving from Colorado and they want to know where the best Mexican restaurants are. And I know you are the local guide for food. I know that's your thing. Well, then I sent them my restaurants of my top 10 local Mexican restaurants in Central Kentucky that I had made. And then I just proceeded to ask them if there was a little bit of uncertainty because they're a Coldwell Banker agent. And since Compass just bought their brand, and they said, yeah, there hasn't been a ton out on it. That's the case, makes me kind of feel weird that I didn't know about it until I read it in the news. Well, guess what? Next week, me and that agent are having lunch to see how I can help better their business based off them wanting to know where the 10 best Mexican restaurants are in Central Kentucky. And right now, I have not turned that into blog stuff. So, guys, if you search that, you're going to get a Yelp link. But people have known that. So why not? If I've already made a YouTube video about that, or not a YouTube, a Instagram, why am I not also just posting that on YouTube and making a quick, hey, ChatGPT, watch this YouTube video. I talked about my favorite 10 Mexican restaurants, put it in a blog, and I throw it on my website. It's things, guys, that we can use AI tools to get this authoritative content out at a high level. I'm going to slow down because I know this is a lot to take in, and I'm going to get to Gemini, and I'm going to get to some brand continuative stuff. But those first 4 things, or authoritative content, does anybody have any questions? Because I've actually looked in depth on those things. My MCA is getting ready, Dalton, he's getting ready to send out an email to our agents that anybody that needs his help on those fast expert accounts, those HomeLight accounts, making them brand continuative, he'll sit down and help them, because I think that's how important this is.
I want to add one thing. I'm sorry, Dylan.
No, you're good.
With the conversion from the YouTube videos to blogs.
Yeah.
When you ask ChatGPT to find, whoever this is or whatever, or try to pull blogs from somewhere, it actually can filter out people who have used AI to write their blogs.
Yeah.
Because they use certain watermarks, like with ChatGPT, they have the dash, and they put those dashes all through the paragraph, and that oftentimes they won't pick people like that because of that little watermark in there. So
what I've been doing to avoid that, Ben, to save myself time, because I've been having ChatGPT write those blogs, it's still my top 10 favorite. I tell them, I actually will resend it to Gemini and Notebook LM and say, remove anything that would make this look like AI. It came from another AI platform, and it will remove the dashes, the emojis, those things, and send it back to me in a copy and pastable form. And then I cross-reference, guys, AI platforms all the time. Be like, hey, make it to where this doesn't look like it's from ChatGPT. Then I'll send it and say, hey, make this look like it didn't come from Gemini, and just cross-reference it a couple times just to copy and paste. And that way it does it, because who has time to write 2,000 words on Mexican restaurants? I don't, but I do have 45 seconds to tell it, here's my top 10 favorite Mexican restaurants in talking form, and have it send it back to me. Right. And I'm becoming the authority in our area for that thing. And that's a long-term play. But it did say that it really does resonate on authoritative content. And guys, food is the one thing we all go to. But for instance, I saw that Ken Pozek the other day did a video of the test scores came back from schools in Orlando, and he didn't say, "Hey, here's the best school," because we do have fair housing we have to watch for. But what he did say is, "I'm going to tell you what the top 10 schools in Orlando are, strictly based off test scores, and then here are some subdivisions that are in those areas." And he did not tell anybody to buy. He did not. He just listed, here's where the school district is for that area, and it's number one. So now when you're looking where's the best school district to live in Orlando, you're having to go to a realtor's website to figure out where the best school district is, because we're going to be honest, our school districts probably aren't the best at putting a good SOE blog for them together, are they, to where to find that information. So that is long-term place, but those first four things that I talked to you about, get those done first for ChatGPT. Fast Experts, HomeLight, Zillow, and Realtor.com, where we've all used the Zillow and Realtor.com. But let's optimize those pages and flood that with content. If you got closing, if you got open houses, whatever, add that to the photos and try to not put too many flyers on there. Let's get real photos. You're in a team meeting. Take a selfie, throw a filter on it, and optimize those pages. Really quick before I go on, does anybody else have any questions on the ChatGPT or authoritative content? Anybody at all? It can be in the chat. You can unmute, because I know this is a lot to go over. Has anyone done this yet with Fast Experts or HomeLight to get those pages optimized so that ChatGPT and Google Gemini know who you are? Once again, the Google business profiles are still a huge player in this, but like she said, that if you search it right now on ChatGPT, it's going to tell you Fast Experts is the big one. Is it anybody? There's 40 something of you all on here. Anybody at all have any questions before I move on? That's one more time, and then I'm moving on. Okay, let's get those things optimized. All right, now I'm going to run over real quick back to that page, and I'm going to finish this out for you. Guys, we're going to get into this part right now, and this is a part that we all love social media, right? Or at least we know how much we have to do it, as much as I hate to do it myself. I'm going to share my screen with you really quick. And all right. So we talked about publishing that authoritative content. If you're not on YouTube, you need to get on there. If you don't have a really good landing page, for your website, let's get that. Let's align those social medias. It's the next big thing. Branding continuity matters in a large way, guys. Branding continuity is a big thing again. Branded continuity is huge right now. We talked about it being the same at HomeLight Experts. I'm going to have one of my agents run me a charger back here. It is a huge thing. Right now, we are seeing things just run through social media at high levels. We're seeing things run through these YouTubes, these things. People are living on their phones. But one thing right now is we need our bios, our links, everything to be consistent. They don't have to be exact. YouTube lets you do 100 characters in your profile. Twitter lets you do as much as you want. Instagram lets you do this. Facebook. But let's get the same message across. Try our best. Not always the same names will be available. Try our best to get the same names. Try our best. Sorry, I'm going to text this agent real quick so I don't lose because they borrowed a charger earlier. Sorry about that, guys. I'm normally more prepared than that. I came in straight from a visitation to here to teach this class. So we're making sure we don't die on you, or this computer don't die on you guys. Okay. So align your social medias. Make the bios consistent. Link those agent pages. Link the review pages and the links in the bio. All those things. Pin you a good intro post, guys, that is in your top 3. And client success stories. Turn on the contact buttons. Add a calendar link. Whatever you want to do, let's make those aligned and have anything that you need to do. Whatever you need to do, get those aligned. Also, make your proof public. Why it matters, all those things. Stats and wins, homes sold, days on market. Hey, Brett, I'm in that. My car is that blue Traverse out there, and in the cup holder, there's a charger and a block. Thank you. Sorry, guys. Uh, make make everything public. Say, hey, we've helped this many families. Some people don't want to brag about their numbers. That's fine. But on your sites and stuff, guys, say I saw an agent the other day say instead of we sold 215 homes on our team, they said we helped 215 families last year find their dream home. I mean, you can align it, but let those stats be known and put it on there in SEO background forms. Also, cross link everything. Let's make sure that the Google business page, the agent page, the directories, the socials all go back to the Google business page, because ChatGPT and Google Gemini are big on those things. Thank you so much. You saved these 47 people from losing me.
You're very welcome.
Brent saved the day. So, like I said, make sure everything's cross-linking. They're all the last thing, and everybody can testify to this. The last thing you want to do is to go somewhere to find something and you can't find it. So make sure everything is easy, flows well. This link goes to that link, all the things, guys. So real quick, that is how, and it's all in that Google folder. That is how you're going to be known by these brands. That's how you're going to be used by ChatGPT. Really quick, I'm going to go to Gemini, and it's kind of the same thing. Google AI, any of their platforms, they're wanting to know, it's actually not fast text search there, but they're wanting to know, like all on the local search intents, like let's make these things known in blog posts or on your websites, those things. Use headlines that match the search engine intent. So like, for instance, if you're going to put how to buy a home in Madison County, put that in a blog form, make it really good and SOE optimized, put it, you know what I'm saying? Those things, be very clear on those things. Another thing, use AI friendly formatting, break content into bullet points, list, numbers, like, hey, here's my top 5 things for buyers. Here's my this for that. Here's 10 ways, bullet points. Make it very good with AI that it can pull it. Don't hide it. I recommend this loan officer into point 3. Make it clear if you're wanting to help build a loan company. You know what I mean? Like, I help agents do this on its own. Be very clear on those blogs, on those authoritative contents. Be very clear what you're doing so AI can easily pull it. Include structured data, FAQs, how-tos, articles about this kind of stuff. Be very, very, very clear. And then demonstrate what we call EEAT. Expert, expertise, authority, and trust. Do what you can, keeping these pages updated, stories. It's a lot of the same stuff, guys, to get recognized by these brands. But if you have it's keep everything. You're hearing this more and more and more and more that I talk. Continuity matters. Today, I built a brand continuity playbook. And I built a playbook in a one-pager of all the things that our Keller Williams brand for Legacy Group needs done by the end of the week, to make sure everything's continuative, to make sure everything's tracking, to make sure everything is the same, to make sure everything is really good and clear. And then I'm going to keep doing that fresh content of those kind of things. So you can see it there, guys. And then there's a quick checklist, but I also made you a master checklist. And I did it actually instead of from most importance. I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. I did it instead of from most importance to most needed to be done. I know how real estate agents are. So I actually just on this, I laminated mine because I'm a weirdo. But on this, guys, I actually just put it in easiest to maybe things that are down the road. So that if you're one of those people that says, I do everything, I'm the 1%er, go pull that one pager on ChatGPT, go pull that one pager on Google, and go do that stuff. Also, because I knew we have some team leaders on this Zoom, I put one in there for brokerages and one for agents on Google and ChatGPT. So make sure that you do the agent ones. They say it at the top. If you realized a minute ago I accidentally pulled up the broker one, put it in there. Also, in that Google folder, I put something about social media algorithms, because nowadays we need to find ourselves in the algorithm more and more. I also put it in there. It's about branding, just to help you guys, the things that are working. How many of you guys can somebody unmute that's not Ben, because Ben always answers my stuff. Somebody unmute, and I love it, but I want to hear from somebody else. Somebody unmute and tell me something, because we're going to shift into this, still staying on this AI continuity stuff. But somebody unmute and tell me something that is working right now for you on social media. And I guarantee nobody's going to say, hey, my same Canva post I've been doing of my same solds for the last 7 years is just absolutely popping off. Somebody tell me something that is working for you right now. Now, those things are important because it's good to stay top of mind, and you need to let people know when you're selling. People want to see somebody that's selling, but there has to be more. Somebody tell me something that's working for you on social media right now. Unmute and tell me. Wow. 40 agents and only one person in here. Me and Ben's the only one doing social media right now. Come on, guys. I like it.
I'll say something.
There you go. Thank you.
Since July 1st, I've been consistently posting 6 of the 7 days a week, and at least posting 3 videos, really focusing mostly on videos, and
Thank you for
always
doing that.
having
We need more of you.
stories.
Mhm.
So went away from Canva, and I mean, I want more engagement still, but I don't post and ghost. ABC always be capturing, and it's just a focus of mine.
That's amazing. Anybody else, can you tell me something that's been working for you lately? Because they're gonna go to your social media pages once Google or ChatGPT or Gemini tells you what to do. Anybody else have anything that's working for you? I know Ben's been killing the videos.
I think Notebook LM has been most beneficial for my posts. As soon as I found out about it, I just feel I can't say enough about Notebook LM. It's insane.
What are you using Notebook LM for? Because that Notebook LM changed my life in multiple different
Changed my
ways.
life.
It's if you're not using Notebook LM, because I hate being that person that's talking about something that nobody knows about.
Yeah.
I'll tell them this, Rachel. Notebook LM is a AI platform that is owned by Google. And you can send it sources. You know how a lot of times you can't send a source to ChatGPT yet, or if you do, it doesn't fully get it. It specializes in knowing a source. So for instance, if you send it a YouTube video, it will watch the whole YouTube video in like 10 seconds and can answer anything about the YouTube video. So go ahead, Rachel. And that's just the surface of it. So what are you using for?
So in fairness, I just found out about it from Chris Shea, and like what I did is I took a 13-page long inspection. Eric Schwartz, Notebook LM. Yeah. And I took my inspection report, downloaded it I saved it as a PDF. It's a drag and drop. So you can drag and drop PDFs, podcasts. For me, I just drag and drop my inspection report. I say, come up with all of the remedies and the costs, and I have my remedy report in 5 seconds. But for social media, I took a podcast, it's like this high performing realtors thing, drag and dropped the podcast, said use this as a reference and create create a post similar to the podcast. So it's not copying, it's just use this podcast as a source, use my own words, and create an Instagram post or create a Facebook. In my instance, it was a Facebook post.
That's amazing, Rachel. Here's the thing, guys. AI, your uses are all leaning back towards, Gary said this in a mastermind that I was in for, they picked 6 team leaders from around the country, and I was blessed to be able to be in that mastermind. And they said this, AI is not going to be replacing you. It's only going to be enhancing you to what you can do better yourself. I know it's using the robots, but use it to become more human. Like, I have a lot of stuff that it's doing for me so that I can spend more time on the stuff that makes Dylan special, right? So another thing that I've been using Notebook LM for, Logan Montashi, however you say his last name, from that does all the market updates. I sent his last 6 podcasts to Notebook LM, and I said, give me a overview that I can listen to of what this market is based on his last 6 podcasts. And I need it in 10 minutes because I only have a 10-minute drive from here to the grocery store. So it made 2 humans have a full conversation about our market, and it took 7 hours of content and condensed it into the 2 people having a 10-minute conversation about our current market. Now, did I go teach a whole class on the current market off a 10-minute listen? No, but what I got was that content on Notebook LM from 2 bots having a conversation. I then paused it while I was driving and said, wait, is this not what they're saying about rates? And it stopped, and the bot answered me and said, Logan references in the 3rd episode that you sent me at the 27-minute mark that this is why that statement that you just said is wrong. And it told me why. And then I went back and switched over to his podcast, episode 3, boom, and went and listened, and he debunked the thought that I had about the rates. And I came away with a different perspective because I paused it on Notebook LM and asked it a question. So going back, that was free. We're going to go back to our lesson plan today. We talked about how to be recognized. It's going to be figuring out what directories of the preferred platform you want to be recommended by, and making those continuative and updating them often. If you guys are going to come on here today and say, I'm going to go make a Fast Experts account so I can be recommended, I'm never going to get on it again, you're probably not going to be recommended because it's becoming knowledgeable, and these other people are going to go be recommended. So, like the other day, I had somebody, and AI is always giving different answers, but if you make yourself so strong, you'll always pop up. Somebody said, hey, I need a real estate agent in Richmond, Kentucky. And I've been working so hard on this stuff. When they texted it said, there's lots of great realtors out there, but you need to use a realtor from Keller Williams Legacy Group. And then it said, here are the 2 that I recommend from there. And then below it, it said, now here's some agents not with them. And it listed, in case you want to use a different company, it listed just 7 or 8 different realtors from different companies. But the first answer it gave them was, I don't know who you need to use, but you need to use somebody from Keller Williams. And then it gave them 2 agents of mine that have been updating their profiles on those sites. So it does matter. But make sure you're getting those directories done, your Google business, all the things right there. Now, let's get into my last point of the day, guys, because we only have 13 minutes. Brand continuity. We've talked about it a little bit, but brand continuity matters for this. And I want you guys to write this down. AI gets you discovered. AI gets you discovered. Continuity gets you chosen. AI gets you discovered. Continuity gets you discovered or gets you chosen. And I'm putting that in the chat. I don't know why this fly somehow got in here. Somebody must have been in my office while I was going to that visitation. It is won't leave me alone. AI gets you discovered. Continuity gets you chosen. People are gonna ask ChatGPT, but they're not gonna go buy a house with somebody strictly off what ChatGPT says. They're gonna go check out your website. They're gonna go check out your Instagram. They're probably gonna go check out. It's probably gonna be your Instagram or your Facebook first, and see how important they are. See if I can, or they may go to Google and Google Ben Lawwell. They may go and Google Chris Lackey. They may go and Google Jennifer. They may go and Google anybody. So AI may get you discovered, but continuity gets you chosen. Continuity requires visual, message, content, and local integration, guys. Make sure they can tell where you're serving. That is a big deal. And 72% of people would rather watch video right now than read something. The blogs are important, and you're saying, well, you just told me to write blogs and nobody's reading stuff. The blogs get you to be the authoritative content to get you pushed to these sites, get you pushed by Google. It's not because people are reading a thing anymore. What they're doing is it's telling them what to go do, where to go see, what to go, all those things. So the authoritative content, but they would love to watch a YouTube video or a minute and 30 seconds video or a 20-second video. So make sure that you're doing video. Make sure your message is clear. Make sure your content is consistent and you're locally integrating yourself. You don't have to do the top 10 restaurants in the county, but make sure they know where you're at. I saw Ben did a video yesterday, and I keep referencing him just because it's somebody I talk to in my office a lot. Or it might have been 2 days ago. Ben, when did you post that video that I had you collaborate with the office on?
I think it was 2 days ago. Yeah. Well,
Yeah, and what was the
messaged me? Was it last night you messaged me?
yeah?
Oh, well, that was yesterday.
So you said in that, you said, I can't remember the exact words, but in this subdivision in Richmond, this is where you want to be or something like that. I can't remember the word for word. What was
Yeah.
it that you said to start off?
Just talking about it being one of the hottest neighborhoods, 2 minutes from the interstate, all that good stuff. Given pretty much all the lifestyle around the house.
Yeah, Ben
So-
didn't. Ben got straight to. He was a local expert. The video is about to give you the proof of concept. Hey, it wasn't. I'm Ben Lawwell, and I've been selling real estate for 12 years, and I got a team. And I was top ranked realtor at Keller Williams last 2 years ago, and I was this and I was that. It was straight to. He was speaking to his audience in a video, being the local authority, and telling him where he was at. I mean, I watched a video the other day. The great realtor was great. He's like, you want to live in this house. And yeah, I would like to live in that house if I didn't have to live in Seattle. And I never knew until I went and looked at the listing, in the link that they were in Seattle. And I was kind of wondering why my phone, since it listens to me so much, sent me to a realtor's page in Seattle. But Ben did a great job with that video, and make sure that you're doing that. Make sure your socials and your website tell the same story. I'm really bad about this because I'm 28 years old and I don't go on a ton of websites anymore. It doesn't have to be as consistent, but just make sure it's telling the same story. Update that page and make it look really good and clean, if nothing else. You all have it through KW if you're with KW. If not, you can message me and we'll set up a lunch if you're just watching this other way. And then the big thing, guys, is tie yourself to something local in some form or fashion. People connect with that at a high level, especially AI. For instance, every now and again, throw in a touch about if you're in Central Kentucky. This is just our things. It said Central Kentucky. What's our stuff? Every now and again, say something about the bluegrass. Say something about bourbon or something, or UK or something. Tie in something local, even if it's just the name of the city. Tie in something local on a video or in your words, so it ties it back somehow. And the last thing I'm going to tell you guys down the road, put this on your calendar to do in a year once you got all this other checklist stuff done, is case studies. They are a huge example of things like deep dives on things. Why someone worked with me. Go find your best client and say, why did you work with me? And go tell their story with little clips on a YouTube video. Why'd you work with me? What can I do better? Do a case study. Study out someone and publish that content. Okay. Remember, guys, step 1, AI recognition is visible. Consumers check socials and websites for consistent branding. Continuity confirms trust. And guys, I'd love for you to go make an action plan. What is something, you guys, before we close out, what is something you're going to do after this call? I'm going to go Fast Experts account. I'm going to go make all my bios the same. What's something that you can go do right now to make sure that you're getting at least recognized at a little bit better level? Chris, what are you going to go do? You're new to the business, and I love that big earth behind you.
Thanks, man. I'm actually right now working on my Google business profile and trying to get Canva to generate a good logo for List with Lackey that I can use as a placeholder just to look authentic.
Because, yeah, you're new.
Yeah, and then I'm going to reach out to my 5 best friends who I've written reviews for and be like, hey, it's time for me to call in the favor. Can you leave me a 5-star Google review and talk about how responsive and attentive and great I am and this and that or whatever. And
hey, all you guys left on here, I want you to go follow Chris Lackey on social media because I'm getting ready to push him to become try to be like a singing realtor as his brand. because the dude's a phenomenal guitar player and singer, and just randomly at an open house the other day picked up a guitar and was like, I'm the realtor for you, and got real creative in just one Instagram story. I was like, dude, there's your brand.
Oh yeah, my
You're-
band just released a Halloween song and I'm working on finishing up an album, and that's kind of what I'm trying to wrap up before I lean into it. But I've hated social media so much that I like keep making stuff but not really pushing it out there.
You can
So,
get ready to get ready to get ready, Chris. Just do
Yeah.
it. Just
That's
do
right,
it.
man.
him
Got to
that-
open the floodgates at some point.
I saw him at the gym and I told him that. I said, you got to use your guitar as your niche there. You got to apply that to your brand. I'm like, that's perfect.
Yeah,
Like,
dude.
And everybody go listen to Spooky Scary by State Law.
Subtle plug there. Hey, I want to add too, Google pages are highly underrated, I think, in our business. And I think that
Highly.
that's, just speaking from my personal experience, that's how I picked up a huge developer that's national. And we're starting on 3 developments that are going to be starting here fall and spring. So, it can lead to a lot of business. 100%.
Ben, there's still a few people on here, and I would say this to them. If it's out there and you can make a page for it that's safe, go do it and update it and make it look the same. And
I literally got so serious about my Google page. It was like for 6 months to a year, I was just like, man, I'm gonna put everything into this because that's where the bread and butter clients come from. And lo and behold, as soon as I pretty much, after that year was done, I get a call randomly one day. It's like, hey, do you sell new construction? I'm like, I sure do. Oh, we're interviewing agents in the area. And then I got I won the situation there. So it just
That's
works. Yep.
all right, guys, thank you so much for your time today. Go use that Google link
Thank you.
and go use that Google link and look over those 6 pages and see what you can do. Especially this checklist I put in there. Also put a social media thing in there, like hey, if I don't know what to do on social media, I can follow this. It's like a plan of like 3 reels a week. It gives you time limits. I did a full algorithm deep dive that's in there as well. So if I can help you guys in any way, also subtle plug, I'm getting ready to start doing some I coach my top agents in our office as part of my job, but I'm getting ready to start coaching agents outside of it on building brands and stuff. So reach out to me if you're interested in that. And if you're one of my agents, you can just schedule a time with me. But if not, I do one-time services or monthly coaching. So you guys let me help you in any way that I can. And or if your market center needs help, just call me. I'm a free resource for that. I love helping Keller Williams people. So y'all let me know if I can help you in any way, and you guys have a blessed rest of your week.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Thanks.
Dylan.
Thanks, Dylan.
Thank you.
Hey, he left there.